Here we are. The YouTube is up. I'm gonna share to the group.
Are we going through YouTube or are we going through?
YouTube. I'm doing the YouTube thing again.
Okay. Let's connect so we can see the.
Yeah. I'm going to post right now. Is your kid tabling this year? Is she gonna get a table? Anything? No.
Mm-mm. No, it's just networking and because and I don't think Ray's going to be there because all the panels that he was asked to be on, none of them got accepted.
Oh, wow! Really?
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Yeah, I don't know what they're doing with panels this year, but they are bizarre.
I'm posting the YouTube link in our thing as well, so if you guys do that. All right, so we are on another episode of the San Diego Comic-Con group. All right, so we are on another episode. Sorry. Let's see. So, all right. What are the news that we've gotten so far? So again, I don't do any of this stuff as an attendee. I do all this stuff as an exhibitor. So I'm pretty out of the loop of what you guys have go through. I know something about Paramount came out.
Yeah, the lodge.
Okay, and I have no idea what that is. Well, I mean, I know what it is, but I just don't know. I don't know the process of what you guys go through to try to get stuff. I thought it was literally a walk-up thing you guys just go to. I didn't know there was tickets. So, so if you want to explain that, or if you guys were successful, I don't know. But you guys can talk about the lodge and if there's chances to still go.
I think all the tickets are gone for now. Some people mentioned that the previous years there's like a standby line, or that they may drop more tickets a little bit later, but the initial drop, those are already all gone, is what I've seen all over social media.
Yeah. There is a standby line that you can walk up on the day of. Obviously, priority is given to the people who have the set times that they've booked. But you can get in. The later that you go in the day, the more likely they'll be to be out of things like historically they've done Star Trek design your own T-shirts or like little swaggy kind of things. So they did announce some of the properties that are going to be represented in there. Like last year, where there was a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles and you got free pizza, and then there was a bar where you got a couple drinks, and there was If, and you got a picture with an imaginary child or imaginary character for the movie, and then there was a whole smelling experience for ghosts, because the whole thing with CBS's Ghosts is that they can't eat, so they want all this food cooked so they can smell it, and that's how they live vicariously. So they had an experience linked to that. And then they had a back area, and you got like spray-on tattoos, so you got to choose those. So that changes every single year, but it's a fun little experience.
Okay. So, but
one of many offsites.
but the tickets are like that's gone. Are they going to announce more, or there's possible more, or is there a standby? Like
there's a standby walk up day of. Historically, they have in the past dropped a second offering, but again, nothing with the offsites is ever guaranteed, because they are at the discretion of the marketing department of the company that's organizing, and they are not affiliated with SDCC.
Oh, okay.
So the lodge is Paramount's activation.
Is that still at the the Lucky Does? Is that where do they hold that?
I am not sure. I don't know
Okay.
if they've announced where it's going to be at. Most likely they have. I just didn't catch the location of where they're doing the takeover this
Okay.
year.
I know Lucky Does is they closed for a certain company, but I thought that was them, but I wasn't sure. I assumed that.
I'm currently just looking it up really quick.
Okay.
Let's see.
Hi, Xavier. Thanks for hanging out. It says mostly non-badge holders wipe the tickets fast.
Yeah.
Oh,
they go so fast, faster than when you even like get
Yeah.
badges for San Diego Comic-Con.
So people with non-badges can get these.
Yeah,
Yes.
so they're completely unaffiliated with San Diego Comic-Con.
Okay.
They have nothing to do with it. So Paramount on their own platform, a lot of these offsites, just kind of like the parties, they will drop their announcement saying this is where you go, this is when you go, and it's an opportunity for people who didn't get badges to be on the inside to still have an experience of Comic-Con on the outside. So it is open to folks who are not necessarily badge holders.
Yeah.
Because there's a lot of people that don't get badges that still come down and want to hang out and be in the experience of things.
Okay.
So that's where the offsites have kind of grown up from.
Yeah.
Is that outpouring of people who want to participate but just didn't get badges to get in.
Okay, got it. And is that were those badges for a specific day or for they?
You got to choose a day and a time slot.
Okay.
So it looks like I'm looking at their dates. It goes anywhere from Wednesday, July 23rd to Sunday, July 27th. Wednesday starts at 6 p.m. to 10, and then it goes all the way through Sunday, 9 a.m. to 7 p.m. are the rest of the hours. It looks like it didn't say their exact address or anything, but it looks like they're gonna go. Some of the themes are gonna be Star Trek, Dexter. Resurrection. Sorry about that. And then it says The Landman, and then some of NCIS with Tony and Ziva, some photo ops, but that's pretty much.
Mm-hmm. And there'll be Star Trek. They'll have a Star Trek representation there because Strange New Worlds is dropping.
Okay.
So they'll be promoting Strange New Worlds, and I think they'll have a few more properties potentially that they'll want to promote. Starfleet Academy's in is in production right now. So. Okay.
I know, and I don't know if I haven't heard anything in replacement. I know that Petco Park, the Gallagher Square was going to be open this year, but for the sumo wrestling event. Do you know if that was the only event that was happening there this
year?
That's canceled because they were all denied their passports or whatever.
Yeah, their visas.
Yeah, so I don't know if they've mentioned anything of anything new replacing.
Being as somebody that's in events, and literally I was just here for SHRM. I was at the convention center for SHRM because we had a booth, and it's really weird to be in there when it's not Comic-Con. And I look around and I'm like, why is this HR company in Artist Alley? And why is this where the Marvel booth? It's really, I'm like, and there's like aisles and you can walk and there's carpeting and like there's all these things. Like I know carpeting is the big touch point, but when you have something big like Comic-Con, every square inch of space in the gas lamp is a premium opportunity. And if something cancels, somebody is like 8 companies deep waiting to jump in and fill the spot. So I do not doubt that there will be lots of stuff at Petco and at Gallagher Square.
I'm hoping. It really sucks because I was excited that they finally got Petco Park to be back in any form part of Comic-Con. We've lost that for ever since we've gone back from COVID. And hearing like, oh man, finally they got something going on, and in the 1 year they have it, they've got to cancel it because of what's going on. So I'm hoping they've got something cool in replace of it. That's my hope right now.
And then I'm trying to find it. I'll give it to you, Eric, to put into the group. But there is a master Google Doc that people put together every year, and it's a Google Doc that will plot out where all the offsites are all around the gas lamp. So you can just go in this master Google Doc, and then you'll be able to pull out like, oh, this is where the lodge is going to be. This is where this is. This is where this is. So I'm trying to find that link. It's like another one of those kind of like insider things where.
So
as soon as I find it, I'll give it to you. But It's super handy. It's kind of like saved me a few years where I'm just like, I found it. I just found it. It's a Google map.
Okay.
Let me just check it to make
Hi,
sure.
the real GPM. Oh, he's asking about that Google Doc. You're
Yep.
asking
I
about.
am gonna send it to you, Eric,
Okay.
and then this way you can put it into the chat here, and
Okay.
then we can also put it into the group as well. And then
Okay.
if you're in the chats, we'll put it into the chats. So that way you can get the master group, and it's a living, breathing document. So as things get added, it gets updated by
Oh, nice.
the master doc owner, who is a kind soul, and I can't remember where it originated from, but
Yeah, who's doing this? Who's putting this together?
there's somebody that puts it together every single year.
Oh, wow.
I just like find it and jump on it because it's super handy.
Nice. Nice.
So here I'm gonna put
Okay.
this in our chat. That's the master Google Doc, and then I'm also putting it into the general chat for Comic-Con.
Okay, and this
for the group.
Outside events.
Yeah, these are all the offsites.
Okay, cool. I will put that up. I think I'll do it. I'll put that up tomorrow. That way I can tag everyone in it, and because I already used my everyone today, and I'll do it tomorrow so everyone gets connected with that. Javier, yeah, that's a hopeful thinking. Javier says, "Be nice. 9-inch nails played at Petco Park for Tron Ares, but it's a long shot." Yeah, I think I don't think we are gonna get anything like that. I mean, it's possible. There's a lot of things that that are always possible at San Diego Comic-Con, but I don't think we're gonna get anything like bands and stuff like we used to in the back in the day with fandom. Yeah, and fandom is done too, right? That's getting tickets to the fandom party on Thursday.
Yeah, I can't get entered because the only way that I can find to get entered for the fandom tickets are you have to like certain things on X or like certain things on TikTok, and I don't have X and I don't have TikTok. So
wow, that's the only way you can get into those parties now.
It's for a lottery, yeah. So you have to like do certain things to get into the lottery. So if there's a way to get in there that's not X or TikTok,
oh my gosh.
But everything that I'm finding is
crazy. Okay, I've never heard of that. That's a long way from when we started going to the fandom parties where you just got to go to the Petco Park and got to see live bands and everything for free. That's pretty crazy. I guess it's great, smart marketing, but wow, never heard of that. That's pretty cool. Yeah, they're doing a lot of that. Real JPM says that they're doing a lottery. Okay. Okay. Yeah. So so anybody new in here, you guys are watching. On the Monday before Comic-Con, I do my Comic-Con walk. I do it all over. I walk all over downtown and show you what's going on. I think I've already heard that things are some buildings are already getting wrapped. I don't know if you've seen that. I think the blog posted that there's a wrap is already happening on a certain building. So
I know that. So like I said, I've been downtown for SHRM, the Society of Human Resource Managers, because we've had a booth there, and there's a huge conference in right now. I've noticed the trolley wraps. I've noticed the banners that are going up, on the light posts. Yep. But I've been down in the gas lamp pretty much for the past 4 days, and I haven't seen a building wrap. So unless it started today, or if it's tucked in somewhere where they're setting up for an activation, I personally haven't seen it. But
okay. Okay. Javier says the majority of the influencers say, "Oh, they get invited to the party and leave us. Nobody's outside wishing to get in." Okay. John, you're the one that's going to be coming the furthest from here. Is there anything you're hearing in general about travel?
So I know I think we talked on the last stream about that. What was that official term? About having that star on your ID, your driver's license and all that. So that's now taken into effect. Okay. Let's see. and always kind of bring a backup with it, because if you lose your wallet for some reason, well, you have no way of identifying yourself. So bring a passport or some sort of second form of an official state ID so you can get back home after the con. Um, otherwise, I'm just direct flighting it from Florida, all the way
Okay.
from the East Coast over to the West Coast, and I have all my car rental things. Make sure you guys have your car rentals if you need one set. Which reminds me, for those people that did get the parking with Ace, when you initially when you filled out your forms and if you got a spot, if you didn't have a license plate number because you're doing a rental, they will prompt you, or should prompt you, and send an email for you to enter in your license plate number before the event. So just remember to do that if you've got a rental car and you're parking somewhere near the convention center.
Yep. Okay. Yeah. And also I'm thinking I'm gonna try. My time is real limited right now, but I was thinking of doing a how-to video of how getting from the airport. If you want to do the cheap way possible, if you don't want to do Ubers, which I don't suggest, but if you want to do the cheap way possible, there is a free shuttle that takes you from the airport to Old Town. It's the free shuttle, and then from Old Town it drops you off right at the trolley station, and then from there you can take the trolley wherever you need to go, and the trolley is only $2.50, and that'll take you pretty much all over San Diego to get to your hotels or anything like that. So I was if anyone needs that, I'm thinking of doing a quick video of how to do that. I was gonna have my wife drop me off at the airport, and I was gonna show you how you can do it. It's not a time saver, but it's definitely, you can save a lot of money. I mean, the whole thing will cost you $2.50 from going from the airport to downtown. I think is like probably 35 minutes. The whole thing just depends on the how long the free shuttle gets there, because I think there's 2 shuttles, and I think they run every 10 to 15 minutes, and that's the longest part of the wait. Again, then they just drop you off at Old Town trolley station, and then you can take the trolley for wherever you want there. So if anybody's trying to save money or trying to stay away from Uber, that's a good way to do it. Yeah, and you can grab that it works at both terminals. We only have 2 terminals, Terminal 1 and 2, and the shuttle goes to both of those terminals. So just know that that's something, if you guys need it. It's a really, really good way to just kind of relax and not have to worry about cramming all your stuff somewhere. They got a decent sized shuttle, a little place where you can put all your suitcases and stuff and things like that. But it's a good thing. So any info on Trolley Passes? I've never taken it, so that would help.
So I just had to look this up for somebody because they were asking in the chat. So Pronto, Pronto, Pronto is our app for our trolley system and our bus system, and they will have special pricing for San Diego Comic-Con. It is not out yet. I looked at my stuff from last year for the Pronto app, and it came out about 2.5 weeks before con. You can either get it in a card form or you can get it in app on your phone form. I prefer to use the card form for the simple fact that if your phone battery dies and your app is on the phone, then you're a little SOL when you're trying to use your trolley pass. And then like it does come in a cool little card. When you get there, you can buy the pass in advance, or you can buy the pass at the terminal down at Imperial.
Yeah.
You can get the physical card, but they will have all of that information once it launches. It just has not launched yet. They will also put more trolleys onto the tracks and make them run more frequently.
Yes.
So that way, it's the same thing they do for the Padres games, is that when they know that there are a lot of people downtown, they really want to save congestion of people trying to take their cars downtown. So they will add a lot more to their trolley schedule.
It's usually like our trolleys are normally like 10 to 15 minutes, but during Comic-Con they go 5 to 10 minutes because they add so many more trolleys. They add a lot of trolleys, which is always good. Yeah, I've always wanted to get the trolley pass, but I never get a chance to do it. But do they actually run out did they run out of the actual cards? You know,
I think in years past they have. If there's any sort of SDCC themed card, that would run out. But sold out period, I don't believe so.
No, I don't think the fair is the fair. And I think because of the past when they've sold out, the San Diego system has community heritage cards that they have. So they have them for Pride, they have them for the Padres, and they have them for Comic-Con. So I think they've incorporated the Comic-Con logo. I don't know if we can get it. From what I was reading today, it looked like you can get them at any time, but they definitely have them as nice little souvenirs. So.
And how much was it for whatever day? Like, how is it for the whole week, or how did what did?
Yeah, you can. Oh, it's been a hot minute since I've done this because I've been getting parking. I've been lucky in getting parking downtown lately.
Going really quick.
Yeah, I will say that normally just one way in, one way back is $5 with transfers, but I want to say for the entire. Like it was really hecka cheap.
Yeah, I thought like the week was
super cheap.
$20 or $25 for the
week.
I want to say around the $30 range.
Yeah,
and it's unlimited rides, unlimited transfers.
Right? Like the whole event is what I had thought.
Yeah. If you can get that, I mean, $30 for unlimited rides is awesome. Like it's
crazy Uber costs. So
that's amazing, and trolleys will get you again. There's gonna be a lot of trolleys, so they'll be pretty quick. You'll get a trolley faster than getting an Uber, and then it takes you all around the city. I mean, you're gonna get to go everywhere. But a trolley pass is definitely very, very great to have during that week. And everything once you get off the trolley, especially if you're just kind of going downtown or Little Italy or something, everything is maybe a 10-minute walk, maybe. So it's a great pass to have if you're doing the trolley route.
So I'm looking at the map for this year because you were talking about options of doing the trolley to Old Town if you're near the airport and things like that. So there is another shuttle stop near the airport. It looks like it's marked. It's on the pink route, number 20. That hotel is Hilton Garden Inn at Bayside. So that would be, looks like the furthest point north on the pink route that you could also hop onto if you're near the airport and just get right to the convention center.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, and it's cool because it's going to be a mess right now because they're still working on our airport. Terminal 1 is just like insane right now. But what's good is that everything that you need in shuttle form is marked in one area. Like shuttles are just one spot. It's literally when you walk, let's just say you're in Terminal 1, that's usually like Southwest, Spirit, and I think there's one more. But when you walk out of that, literally right across the street is all the shuttles. Like they're just simple, just walking across the street. And so ours is pretty organized. We're not very chaotic here. We're pretty simple as far as the airport goes. And it's the same thing as Terminal 2. When you walk out, usually there's one main just long street that handles all the shuttles, and it's pretty accessible to get to right away. So it's really, really, really easy.
Sorry, folks are asking what the YouTube channel is.
I don't think I posted the right thing. It copied the whole entire hyperlink, and I don't think that was it.
Oof.
That's not it. Maybe not.
I will get rid of that one for you.
That's not it. Oh my god. Okay,
there we go. Oh, there's a lot of chats. There's a lot of folks in the chats right now.
Since I'm looking at everyone that's liking and whatever in our group right now, and since I see it right now in front of my face, people have actually asked why they should not take pictures of their Comic-Con passes and post them. So look, guys, if you post everything, like the full picture with your name on it, and ends up being like a fake, I mean, they're gonna know it's a fake because you still need the RFID code to get into Comic-Con and everything. But if they connect your pass with your name connected to this fake pass, there's gonna be questions. That's just one. That's one part. They're just gonna ask questions, and they don't know if you're gonna be part of this person's like, hey, they're trying to pass off fake passes or whatever. You can get in trouble for this too. And on top of it, they're just gonna make a lot of hassles. So it's just advised not to show any information, show your name or anything, because it keeps the fakes away as best as possible. Still gonna happen, but just you don't want to contribute to this, and then you don't want people taking your badge and your photo and making a fake and giving you problems later on. So I mean, there's been a lot of, I guess, pushback on the idea when I've mentioned in different places of, well, it's my badge, like why can't I post my picture, my badge, I don't, if you want to post your badge, that's your business. I'm just trying to save you from any type of trouble that you could possibly get into later on.
It comes down to scammers. What happens is that Comic-Con has a subculture where scammers make a lot of money. So they will take that badge, they will put it on Facebook Marketplace, they will put it on second-hand resale sites. If you have a badge with your name on it, then they'll use your name, your image, your photo to sell it to somebody else. That somebody goes up to Badge Solutions and says, this isn't working. And they see that your name is attached to whatever they are bringing up with them. And now it looks as if you just scammed somebody out or you tried to resell your badge. The bottom line is it's the terms and conditions that you agree to from San Diego Comic-Con. When you click, I accept the T's and C's that you never read, but you click that I agree. It specifically says that badges are non-transferable. Badges are non-refundable after a certain date, and they're non-transferable. It's not Eric, it's not me, it's not Joanna. It's Comic-Con's policy. Whether you think it's good, bad, or indifferent, it's their policy. And so scammers really try to take advantage of this because they know it is a very limited access in every single way they can. One of the biggest things that people did last year is that the Deadpool and Wolverine is a great example of what happened. Yes. So the Deadpool and Wolverine was a selection only of certain people were selected to go see Deadpool and Wolverine on Thursday night in Hall H. People were chasing clout on social media. I'll just call it what it was. They were chasing clout on social media, bragging that they got this. Other people got it and they were trying to flip it and sell it for a whole lot of money. But they were posting the entire email that they were sent. People took that email, they printed it out and passed it off as their own and jumped into line. And people who legitimately won didn't. But it's because people were posting their winnings. They were posting these things that are easily copied and easily photoshopped and easily manipulated, because there is 99% of everything is spirit of the con, and everybody is there to help each other, and everybody is there to kind of like make sure everybody has a great experience. But there is a subset, just like there is with anything else, of people who are scamming and who are trying to take advantage of everything the way that they can, whether it's exclusives and getting exclusives and flipping them 5 minutes later. Like, there is a secondary market where people make lots and lots of money off of either attending the convention or taking advantage of opportunities that people present them by, chasing clout on social media and posting things that are easily manipulating. And it's not just me sitting here from my experience saying it. I work as a volunteer with WonderCon as a staff in registrations. And so I'm very close with the folks who work in registration and badge solutions. And not only there's stacks and stacks and stacks of daily badges that have been confiscated with the RFID chips, because if they tap red, you have to go show your ID and they have to match up. There are tons of people who walk up there with documents that look real. And they said, I paid $6,000 for these badges. I paid $5,000. I paid 3,000. Like people get scammed out of lots and lots of money. It's a real thing that happens.
Wow.
And you know, it is a small percentage, it's a small subset, but these are the realities of things that happen. Why, when we say, it's just, you can say, hey, I'm going to the con, I got my badges in the mail on social, that's great, but posting just gives people who are trying to take advantage just more opportunity. So
yeah.
they want to know what booth or table you're going to be at, Eric.
So my table is E12. The only problem with that is I hate explaining my table because it's so weird. But let's just say I'm on the, if you walk down 700 aisle, you'll run into me because I'm like, I pretty much hit with I'm a corner booth, and I kind of hit. It's really hard to explain. I'm not an exhibitor booth. I'm not a small press. I'm not artist alley. They call them exhibitor tables or like con tables. But it's just so hard to, because on the map we're not represented very well, so it's really hard to explain. But the best thing I can say is that I'm on the 700 aisle, and if you run down, and you'll eventually hit me. So
you're closer to the water side than the street side. So once you get into the floor, you'll orient yourself with Hull H, Hull A, water, land. So if you orient yourself that way, that's super helpful.
I'm literally like in the middle of halls A and B. Like I'm like in the middle of that. Again, but I hate explaining. I have to do this every year, and it's just kind of
on the mezzanine water side.
So Eric, I think when I saw you in Florida at MegaCon, it was a similar issue where you weren't quite an artist alley, but then also it was just an odd corner spot. I remember asking if you could do like a balloon of sorts. Some vendors would, because you always have that moment where, I should have bought that. And then you can't find your way back to the vendor. Does San Diego let you put something up like that, or is there different regulations with that?
I mean, I could do it. I mean, if I did just put a balloon, I don't think it would be a big issue. But there are height requirements when it comes to booths, and those are things that have to be put in place before, like everything. Like I have to put in like in my contract. But if it's a balloon and it's secured, I don't think it would be a big deal. I mean, it's something I could try to do. I can go try to find a fun, like, I don't know, Hulk balloon or something, and be like, I'm right here. But and then if they tell me to take it down, I just clip it down. It's not a big deal. But it's just super weird, because I wish they would, with anything else, give like us a banner. Small press has a banner, artist alley, you get a banner, and we just kind of are there, and they don't give us like a banner above our heads to say, hey, this is. I think they're called Comic-Con tables. I don't know. It's really weird. But we're in a little gray shady spot on the map on the south end, or no, the west end of the exhibit hall. Again, all this I'm explaining, and then this is what I have to do every year to just tell, this is where my boot's at.
Someone said in the comments that you should be doing a Fantastic Four balloon just for
I saw that right now. Yeah, I mean, maybe I'm pretty down on getting a balloon. I think my neighbor Travis, that's always behind me. We've known each other, I don't know, for like 20-something years. I could say, hey, we're gonna put a balloon up and tell everyone to follow the balloon to find us, and I think he'd be down with that. And again, if they tell us, hey, you can't have the balloon, we'll just take down the balloon. It's not a big issue. So
do you participate? So for folks who don't follow certain artists, there are sometimes like little scavenger hunts where the artists will all come together, and they'll have like a little game board, and you have to go visit each of these different artists, and at the end you initial it, and then you can go back and get a prize. So that's also a really, really fun way to introduce yourself to new artists and to folks who you may not know their work. So are you participating in anything like that this year, Eric?
I don't know. Don, who's Don, he's the one that puts it on. I think he's kind of done with that.
Yeah, I don't believe he's going to be there this year, so I didn't know if somebody else was picking
Yeah,
up.
and he's the one that always took the incentive to do it, and I know he always talked about how hard it is to actually get it together.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I've always been fine with doing stuff like that, but I don't have time to myself to
Organize it. Yeah.
organize it, and I know he put a lot of time into it. He really, really went out of his way on a lot of things with that, and I was always just amazed on how well he put that together on top of doing his work.
Yeah.
I can't do anything. I would like to. I mean, I'm more than happy to do, something like that. If it was just like independent artists and like, hey, jump around.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think I'm gonna get this together this year. But what I've been wanting to do is actually do an art print with at least maybe 5 other artists, where we all contribute to one art print. And then the way to visit each table is that they have to get it all signed. I think that would be pretty cool. That would be a cool thing, but that would probably be maybe next year on a later convention, or maybe WonderCon or something like that. So, some similar. There was, oh man, I just saw a post that I was gonna comment on when you guys asked me. Let me see. So, right, this isn't final yet. I'm still getting all the info together, but we might have a place to gather for the group after Comic-Con. At the what did I tell you? I think it was the Stone Brewery or something like. Yeah, yeah. Which is really easy. It's literally like you could take a trolley to the hub on Kettner. I think it's Kettner and Broadway is the main hub. It's like 2 stops away from the convention center. Get off on that and you walk like another 5 minutes and you're there. It's super easy. I'm just trying to get details from the manager to see exactly what day everyone wants to do, or what day that they would prefer doing it. Right now I'm hearing that Friday I think is might be the day, because I think they do live performances on Saturday and there won't be enough space. But again, I have to just go talk. So there might be finally a place to do a group gathering after the convention. But again, the day is up in the air. But from what I've heard from the contact, that I think it's might be Friday. So just to putting it out there, if anyone wants to kind of hang out afterwards. Kind of hoping the panel would have been the gathering, but we didn't get the panel, so oh well, next time. But yeah, that's something that might be happening. When do you think we're gonna hear about the schedule? Do you think it's gonna be next week or this week? It'd probably be next week. Do you think?
It's 2 weeks out from day one. 2 weeks out from, so should be the 10th. The 10th should drop for preview night, and the 10th, and then the 11th for the 25th, the 12th for the 26th, and the 13th for the 27th.
Yeah. So don't quote us on this, guys, but I'm thinking of maybe next Wednesday we're gonna start hearing the beginning of all the schedules for all panels and Hall H and all that stuff. But I mean, by past years, like Katrina said, like that's usually the time. So we're looking at maybe next Wednesday, if not maybe next Thursday, because
I think they do. I think they do Thursday, and it drops Wednesday and Thursday together.
Yeah. So
because the preview night doesn't really have a lot of programming.
Yeah. They usually do what's usually happening at the library or something.
Yeah.
So possibly went, but I'm you're probably right. It's probably gonna be Thursday. So maybe next week we're gonna start hearing about all the panels. Anyone that does have a panel, even exhibitors, artists, all you guys, there are places in the group that you can promote your booths, your panels, or anything that you want to promote. It's all in the group. There is a artist alley section. There is a small press exhibitor section, and I do have categories for each day of the panel. So whatever day you're going to be on, that's the panel day you should be posting in. But it's all available for everyone to promote your stuff. You don't have to ask. You just promote it there. I've seen people in Artist Alley already starting to do it. And I would please ask that you tell other artists about it. Say, hey, this group is our complete, audience. Post, you're going to get to have a lot of people see your stuff. So this is where you should post. And yeah, again, as long as it goes on with Comic-Con and you have a booth and stuff like that, feel free to promote in those categories. That's why it's there.
They're asking about when the SDCC app gets updated. Generally, it's about a week out. They need to publish, they need to release all the information. While they're releasing the information, the developers are in the back end coding everything and setting it up, and it normally takes a little while. So the app normally gets its update a little bit closer to the con, but once everything has been pushed out officially.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't anticipate the app getting updated until at least like the 17th, 18th.
Yeah.
At least it cuts it real close because, like I said, the developer, there's a lot that they have to do in the back end to upload everything and make sure it's all coded and tagged, and there's a lot of work that goes into it. Yeah,
I would say at least the Monday that week of Comic-Con is probably when you want to really get their updated version of everything. That would be the
21st.
First, yeah. So I would say about that Monday is when you probably should download it to get the updated version of that.
And every single year, people try to update it too soon. They try to access it too soon, and they get like weird error messages because it's locked for dev. They're in their sandbox for dev. One thing real quick before we jump to the next question, tied along with the schedule being released, the exclusives lottery is also going to start on the 7th. It runs until, Joanna, correct me if I'm wrong, the 17th is the last day that you have. Pro tip from literally everybody who has done this since it's been created: do not, unless there is only one thing that you want, do not go in on the first day and use all of your points, because what happens is through the week, certain autograph signings, I see it every single year, certain autograph signings that they put up get pulled, or certain experiences that they put up get pulled. Literally, if all you want is something like Funko and all your stuff is going to go into Funko, then, by all means, go on day one. But there is no advantage that you get by doing everything early. And more exclusives get released throughout the week as the people who are participating, and some folks, I've seen some companies get added a little bit late. So like, really, this is the one and only time where patience is a virtue when it comes to anything Comic-Con. Like, this is legitimately the one and only thing where you don't have to jump in and be the first one to get your name on something.
And I think people do that because they have this FOMO, this fear of missing out on everything. So also, historically, the first day, I guarantee you that it's still going to happen on July 7th, that the site's going to crash because so many people are going to attempt to use all their points for UCC or Funko or something like that. In previous years, it was a lot more difficult to change your selections, or they didn't allow you to go back, take back your points, and then, redistribute them elsewhere. I think they've changed that recently. But still, it's a lot easier if you don't have to do that. If you wait till closer to the end where everything has been announced and the site's not crashing, then, put your points where you want them to.
Do we have any other? No. Others? No, I don't have any other events planned during that week. On the Wednesday, I know Bernie, the what's his event company called? They're doing the Comic-Con kickoff party on the Wednesday. And that's the only time they are going to have parties. Normally, they do theme parties Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, but this year they are only doing a party on Wednesday.
Is it the Ready Party one?
Yes. Yes.
The experience level entertainment.
Yes, I think so.
At Park.
Yeah, Park. Yeah. That's Wednesday evening. And again, normally he does a 3-day party, but he's only doing the one on Wednesday. It's the kind of the kickoff party for Comic-Con after preview night. I'm right now not planning to go, only because I'm getting ready for the rest of the week. So because after preview night, I'm going back home to rest for the rest of the week. There's that. I am doing the Fantastic Four in Mission Valley on Thursday evening, and there I plan on handing out free art prints of Fantastic Four. And then, depending on which actual day the brewery tells us about the meetup, again, from what I could tell, they were leaning towards the Friday, so maybe it's Friday. There's that, and after that Saturday, there's nothing else unless something else just kind of randomly pops up. But anything, if anyone ever wants to meet up for dinner, hang out, I mean, there's always just like a random place we can always go. What's sad is it was hard to try to figure out where to go because there's a lot of places in downtown that are just closed. They're gone now. And my number one pick was going to be Basic, which was behind the ballpark. Great pizza, and was probably one of the best, coolest chill hangout spots to go to. But Basic is no longer there. The building, there's nothing there at all. There's no anything. I don't know if they're gonna bring in a new venue or anything in there, but right now it's just closed. So we can't even hang out there. So again, there's all these little places that are just shutting down, or they've shut down and now they're putting something in place of it, but they're not going to be open by Comic-Con. So, so that's kind of the sucky part of all this, is trying to figure out where to do the meetups of any type. And because everything is really hard on any restaurant or anything, everything's starting to close a little earlier. I saw places that were closing by 9 o'clock. So it's hard to get a gathering going and, hopefully spend some good time there. We have an hour and a half at the most at certain places, and then you have to leave because they're closing. So that's the other hard part of all this, is that a lot of the restaurants or other cool gatherings are just closing early, and there's nowhere else to go unless you further out outside of San Diego, like downtown and Mission Valley and things like that. But because people are limited on their travels, it's kind of hard to get all this together. So so expect a lot of those little places to be closed, guys. There's a lot of, there are some new places that are popping up, and I'll show you those on my walk. There are new restaurants that have popped up, but there are a lot of places that are gone. So just FYI.
So since this is probably our last stream, I think, before SDCC later on this month, there's a lot of new people that haven't been to conventions. This may be their first convention. What would be your advice, your top 5 tips for them? How to handle the convention, how to survive SDCC this year?
I think going just to the basic, just remember you're gonna do the most walking I think you've ever done ever. I think the shoe, like you said, comfy shoe. I think that just your shoes in itself, that's what you need if you're planning to, and that's just regular attendees. We're not even talking about cosplayers. The attendees, if you're just get some great shoes, great shoes. So that way, because you're going to be standing a lot. And if you want to sit down, good luck, because the halls are just filled with people sitting down, and it's hard to find a place to just sit. So just be prepared for that. I'm not sure if I'm allowed to say this, but I'm gonna say it anyway. Food is allowed into the convention center. You can take food in. Um, Sorry if I broke a rule. Apologize, but I'm just saying, that in past years we've always been allowed to take food in. So if you want, I would say at least bring some sort of good snack that holds you over. I mean, if nutrition bars are good enough for you, then that's fine. But I would say bring like a made sandwich with some sort of muffin or whatever. Bring in a water bottle. There's plenty of water stations to fill up, and they have those filtered sections to fill up with your water. That's a good way to save, and things like that. Our weather here in San Diego has been weird, so I don't know if it's going to be hot. We've definitely received the June gloom this year for sure. And so it's hard to gauge what the weather is going to be like. But again, just remember at the worst, prepare for heat and get your sunscreen if you need it. If you're going to be outside with the outside events, wear comfortable clothes. Try not to make any too thick, because even if it's not hot, you don't need that in San Diego. You can be very relaxed, and your clothing can be very breathable. And you'll be fine. I don't know. And again, there's two major grocery stores in downtown. We have a Ralph's and we have a grocery outlet. Both, one is on the west side, one is on the east side. So
there's an Albertsons too.
Oh, and Albertsons, yeah, that's like a block away from grocery outlet, I think. Yeah, that's right. So there's grocery stores around. They're probably, I would say, about 10 to 15-minute walk from the convention center. So you can go to any of those and grab stuff just to make snacks. I think that's perfect. But again, that's more walking. So just again, it's all I think about having comfortable shoes to do all this walking. There are minimal like delis. There's some around, but who knows how packed or how ready they'll be. There are numerous 7-Elevens around, but again, there's not, you're not going to get everything from there. But overall, again, it's just all about the walking and being prepared to walk a lot. And if you're taking the trolley, again, that's going to be your most convenient thing to go all around San Diego. It's super easy. We're not complicated at all. All you have to do is just pay attention to the color coding. I think we have 3 or 4 colors on ours. So it's really easy. It really is easy. But yeah, I mean, other than that, I think just preparing in those little things. Again, if you feel you're gonna be heavily on your phone, bring your little battery pack. Basic stuff like that. I think. Other than that, it's more just just try to be chill. I always tell people when they ask me about Comic-Con, I always tell them, just imagine you're going to Disneyland and get ready to only get on 1 or 2 rides. And that's all you're gonna do. You're only gonna be able to do 1 or 2 major things, if that. And the rest is just a lot of walking around and kind of scoping out the show. Because that's what it is.
Mm-hmm. I think for me, and I've been going to or involved with con for 11 years now, excluding COVID times, and I'm in a lot of different groups, and the biggest thing is people ask literally the exact same question 6 to 7, 8 times a day. Like, what do you recommend? When I first went and I was a newbie, I just went out and just searched for as much information as I could. So if you have a question, it has been asked and answered ad nauseum already. So just trying to do research in Facebook, or the unofficial blog is your first kind of like go to when you want like more instant updates, because that's even where we get the information from that we can pass off, because they are pretty much the first to know.
Mm-hmm.
There's another group called Parks and Cons. And the one thing that I love about Parks and Cons is that every year, as soon as the vendor exhibitor floor map is out, they do a big presentation on like a big screen behind them with like pointers and everything. And they tell you, okay, this is where this is, this is where this is, this is where this is. And to get to this place at this time, you go through these doors and you get into this line. And so it's a really, really great walkthrough of how to get everywhere you need to go. So Parks and Cons and the U-Blog are two of the things that, you know, if you want to do a lot of preparation in advance, follow those, and then go into the different groups, either on Facebook or other places. Facebook mainly is where the majority of the information is. And put in your key terms in the search bar, and you'll come out with a plethora of information, from what kind of stools do you recommend, what kind of shoes do you recommend. Like I bought Hoka's just because of a
I was about to say those are my go-tos.
Yeah, there's so many great things, and you'll find out more information. But my number one tip is plan the 2 things that you have to do each day.
Yeah.
And then take the rest of your plan and throw it out the window, because some of my best experiences are things that I had no idea what, I just kind of like stumbled upon them. And I stumbled on these 5 or 6 things. And I know in the Easter sphere of con, there was hundreds of other things that I didn't even know about or get to or whatever. And you sit there and compare experiences, like, oh crap, that would have been fun. But like, I got to hear the Black Panther soundtrack 9 months before the movie even came out, because the composer was doing a panel that was 2 panels before the panel I really wanted to go to.
Really?
Here's another pro tip, is that they don't clear the rooms in between panels. So if you want to make sure that you are in that one panel, for me, it was Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Like I would never miss Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. and I never miss John Barrowman. Like those are my 2, like those are the 2 things I do every single year. So for Barrowman, because he's popular, I would go 2 sessions in advance and sit through whatever those 2 sessions were. And I had just the coolest experiences, and I never would have gone to them.
Nice.
Otherwise, but I legitimately, like I got to hear the Wakanda Forever soundtrack and like all the rain sticks and like it was so cool, because he's like, oh yeah, this is kind of what I'm working on, this is what I'm playing with, and I'm like, and then he won an Oscar for it. So
nice.
And like you'll walk around and you just bump into somebody and you're like, oh hey, you're the guy, and you're like, yeah, I am the guy. So but the biggest thing is that as much as you think like Disney has line rides, Comic-Con has line rides, and
SDCC is AKA also known as Line Con.
Line Con. So. And a lot of times, especially on the floor, the line is going to be capped. And what that means is that the line has reached a capacity where the fire marshal will not let anybody else line up. And you just kind of have to circle around and be lucky enough to kind of hover and get into the line whenever the line cap goes away. So like there are so many different tips and tricks, and why I recommend you search for yourself is because you know what you want to do and you know what your experience is. And when you say, hey guys, what should I do at Comic-Con? I can tell you what I say I would like to do at Comic-Con, but what I like to do at Comic-Con may not be what you like to do at Comic-Con. So I'm giving you really bad advice because my priorities are a little different. So like for me this year, my kiddo is an artist. They were just published in DC. And so we are going to be networking because they graduated from high school and now I need my child to help pay some rent. So they will be networking and they will be taking their book around, and they will be, so like our goals of con are going to be really different than maybe your goals of con. So I can give you generalities and I can say, oh my God, the food truck out the back of the mezzanine, the Mexican food truck that is out there has the most bomb California burritos ever. But if you don't like California burritos or if you don't like Mexican food, this is not super helpful to you. And I don't like to give that tip away because I don't like to wait in the line now that I've found, because the more people are finding it, it's getting more popular. And I'm like, there are some things I keep to myself because I don't want them to be super popular.
I want them to be yours.
I want to not have to go for like 4 hours and wait for a burrito. But yeah, the food trucks kind of saved me. For I found out about them for the first time last year, and I was like, this is amazing.
Nice. Yeah.
So
Yeah, and then there's, I mean, yeah, I'm gonna try to show people all the food. I mean, there's plenty of stuff downtown again, but just remember, once that show lets out, everything is just filled. I mean, there's so many lines everywhere to get into restaurants, and even then the restaurants, even the one mostly on the gas lamp, are gonna kind of dumb down their menu. You're not gonna even get the full menu. You're gonna get the Comic-Con menu, which is gonna really lower what you can get. But there are a lot of great restaurants around. Again, just taking advantage of the trolley and things like that, you'll find to go out a little further and get some good stuff. I posted and recommended a Mexican food taco shop. But again, they're like 30-minute walk away. But amazing, incredible. And I highly suggest them, but it's a walk. If you take the trolley down more south, you can go to another great Chicano Park area where they have tons of great food there. But again, it's just these are little things. Don't be scared to kind of venture away from downtown, please, guys. I mean, there's so much more going on, and you'll have a lot of choices. Just kind of going away from downtown. Mission Valley, there's so many things out there. You might have to do a little walk, but there's a lot going on there.
One place that we go every year, because a bunch of the con folks who are staff volunteers will go out to dinners, and it's really hard if you have a big group, and especially if you have a big group that is like picky, like I want this or they're indecisive. The Seaport Village has an amazing food court, and it's not like a mall food court. Like there are these little cottages, and there's like a Louisiana jambalaya place. There's a fish and chips. There's a Mike Hess brewery. There's Mr. Moto Pizza. There's a Mexican place. There's a new Mediterranean place that just opened. So like there's like a whole mess of just walk up window that you can go to, and like your party can split. They can get whatever they're kind of hankering for, and it's a walk. It's not a long walk.
No,
just past the
it's right behind the Hyatt.
The Manchester Grand Hyatt. It's literally in between there and the Embarcadero. So especially if your hotel is up like the bayfront window or anything that's in the Embarcadero. So if you're near the Midway, if you're near the pirate ship, if you're near the paddle wheel, like it is on your way through. So that is a great option if you just want something quick, generally not a lot of lines. And you have a large group that all have a disparate taste that you can't sit there and agree. Like, I don't know, I don't want Mexican. I don't know, I don't want that. Just go
to Seaport Village as a group, spread out, and then regroup. And then your view is just going to be amazing. I mean, you just go back to the main walkway, and then you just kind of look over the bay, Coronado. You're going to have the best like dinner view ever, which is really, really relaxing. And I when I was promoting because the Chuck Jones Gallery is in Seaport Village now. That's where if anyone wants to go to Chuck Jones Gallery, it's there now. But right next to it is Spill the Beans, which is a very good coffee shop. They do great breakfast sandwiches. Again, but this is all in Seaport Village, and you're gonna find a lot of great little spots there. If you guys just want to have wine, they have just a wine cottage, and you just hang out over the bay and just kind of like chill and hang out there. There's so many things in Seaport Village that will really make things life easier. If you guys kind of just go there and hang out, tons of options there. But yeah, Seaport Village is a great one. That's a very, very good spot. Again, just right behind the Hyatt.
So to piggyback and get back onto some tips that I had for when I first time ever went to San Diego Comic-Con. I'm probably going to embarrass myself by saying all this because it ended up with me almost calling an ambulance on myself. And so for you guys that don't know me, I work in newborn intensive care. I'm always on my feet for 13, 14 hours a day. Yes, I agree with the Hokas. They save my feet and my back all the time. So I thought, and I underestimated the size and how much walking that SDCC would be, because I'm like, oh, I've been to other big cons before, and don't underestimate how big San Diego Comic Con is. I clocked about 25,000 steps a day.
Yeah.
So people recommend good shoes. Some people even break two so they can alternate every other day. The convention floor doesn't typically have carpet, and that is a very hot debated topic. Some booths will, so that's kind of a nice break for your feet and your knees. But I kept thinking, oh, I can just cover the floor and then I'll take a break. No, this convention center is easily probably 4 times the size of the ones I've been to in other cities. So make sure you bring your snacks, your water, definitely your medication, any prescription medication that you may need, and Advil, Aleve, because nobody wants to go through the whole entire day with a migraine. Small, like simple first aid things, because you may not find that easily if you get a cut or whatnot, if you're in the middle of the floor. Just take lots of breaks. It's very hard, especially if you only have 1 or 2 days. Take your breaks, eat, stay hydrated, get your sleep, because people get the con crud. That is another thing that does happen. So make sure you get that rest and eat. What else?
I
Yes.
think we have 2 CVS's in downtown. There's one on the gas lamp that's like, I think that one is, I think, maybe 3 blocks up. I think it's not very far, and I think we have one on Broadway area. I'm not sure if is that CVS or Walgreens. I'm not sure.
CVS. There's 2 CVS's downtown.
Yeah. So there, there's, if you need something like you're saying, if you need first aid, or we do have those around. But again, you're talking about Comic-Con during this time, so you just don't know how big the lines are. Or they're gonna sell out of stuff. But again, we do have those around if you need them in an emergency. And again, there's a couple of 7-Elevens around. I don't know if they still carry like Advil or things like that. But it's probably a great place to get at least a bottle of water or whatever. But again,
and then you also have the Ralphs and the Albertsons. They all have the that does, just people who are not from California get surprised at this, because we are trying to reduce plastic. We don't have single-use bags. We have bags that you purchase for 10 cents. So you can bring your own bag into a grocery store. We also have other deposits when it comes to bottles for cans and bottles of soda or pop, depending on where you are in the country. So we have additional fees like CRVs or bag fees. So don't kind of get freaked out whenever they're like, well, do you want to buy a bag? It's just part of some of the conservation efforts that we have here to reduce plastic.
Yeah. And it's usually only like 10 cents. So just if you see an extra 10 cents and you're like, why? It's because you bought a bag. But you can bring your shopping bag in or whatever if you want. So
I believe the blog also released a list of their must-haves, like a little checklist that you can print out of what they recommend that you bring. Of course, you just modify that to what you need. I'm going to be bringing one of those expandable chair things, because I don't want to be standing for 3 hours. But what I may bring, you guys might not bring. So that's a good list to kind of just get a start, an idea of what to put in your backpack.
Yeah.
Sunblock. I will say a bunch of the people who are out here from Sherm, I could tell who this was their first time out in the sun, because they were burned. Like a lot of my colleagues and coworkers, they're just like, I can't move my arms. 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 Even when it is cloudy here, you will get sunburnt.
Yes. The clouds don't protect you from anything out here. Yes, for sure.
It could be even 90 degrees, 95 degrees for all we know. So fans, if you want to, you can also bring them. The other thing I thought was a lifesaver when I first did the con, and I didn't really have time to leave the convention center to go eat and things like that. I found the convention center is really close to the Marriott. If you go through just onto the street into the Marriott, up the escalators there is a quick stop like burger grill place that was really good, and you can find seats fairly easily. There's also a restaurant on that same floor for the Marriott, and then there's this Starbucks too if you need your caffeine hit right there. And it has a good view of the ocean as well. So it was so close and so easy. That was my go-to. So if you guys need something close and quick, that would be my recommendation too.
Yep. If you guys if anyone's needs a Starbucks, there are 4. I believe there's 4 Starbucks in downtown. There's one in like right behind. If anyone knows where the Cheesecake Factory is, that's pretty much going to Seaport Village. There's one there. There's one that would be the west side. If you're staying on the east, there's one on 10th and Market. It's a corner one. There's one in the Hard Rock Hotel. That's probably going to be the busiest one. The Hard Rock right in the front. That's like the very first hotel you get to when you're at the convention center. There's a one there, and there is a mobile only Starbucks on Broadway and First, I think. It's on the or Broadway in front. I'm not sure the crossing street, but it's on it's a mobile only. You can't order there. You have to do everything through a mobile app. So it's really just a grab and go type space. So there are multiple Starbucks in that area if needed. But again, there's tons of little coffee shops everywhere. There's 2 Spill the Beans, one in Seaport Village. The other one is off of Market and 5th, I believe. So there's plenty of options like that everywhere if you guys need. But if you guys are only Starbucks fans only, there's like 4 around the area. So if anyone needs, and I think you said there was one in the Marriott, right? Is that what you said?
There was on the same floor with near their grill and bar and their restaurant.
Okay. Yes. Oh, and there's one in the Hilton Bayfront. That's right. There's one right across from where the Hall H crap happens. There's one right there. So there's quite a few Starbucks if anyone absolutely needs that type of stuff. So,
Joni May is asking about places to sit at SDCC, suggestions for taking breaks and being able to get off your feet. We mentioned Seaport Village, but other than restaurants, number 1, collapsible stools, foldable stools. Then you have your seat anywhere.
Yeah.
Except there are places where you absolutely cannot sit and you will be yelled at. You'll like inside the actual exhibition hall, no sitting. And that's it's because it's a fire hazard, and the fire marshal is very, very strict, and he will shut things down, and he has shut things down.
Yeah.
He like there have been
at Funko.
There have been times where things have been shut down and the rooms have been cleared. Like last year a fire alarm went off and like half of the building was cleared, the other half was like just that's where they're serious. But that way you will find out very easily where you can sit inside. So get a collapsible, and they're super lightweight. There's a lot of recommendations out there. Again, just if you do a search of any of the groups, but whenever you want to take a break, if you want to go outside, there's a whole mezzanine area out back, and you can just chill out back there. There's like sometimes fights that are happening with different like sword play groups that you can kind of chill and watch. But the sun's beating down, you want to have maybe like an umbrella or a hat or something to give yourself a little bit of shade. But there's a lot of open space on the mezzanine level, out back on the water side of things. And then if you go down the stairs by where my happy little food truck is, it was across from Abbott Elementary's activation last year on the water, and the Voodoo Ranger pirate ships. Like there's seating down there, there's seating on the walls. Like there are places where you could just like go and grab, but it's up to you if you want it to be in an outdoor setting or an indoor setting. There's lots of green space.
And also depending on how far you want to go. Again, I'm not sure how Petco Park is going to handle what happened. Past years, Petco Park, we have a park area in the actual stadium. that they sometimes leave open for people to just sit, and that's a normal thing for here. Like, they have it open.
There's a playground. There's
Yeah.
a big gigantic playground, and there's a little mini baseball diamond that it's built to be a community accessed area.
Yeah,
so.
and a miniature dog park there, right? Like all there. Again, if nothing decides to happen there, that could be a good place to go. If you want to go outside and take a walk and kind of venture out a little bit, you can go behind the inside. It's Gallagher Square. That's what it's called. And it's kind of like a stadium seating park where you could just kind of hang out and just chill. And right outside of, like, literally right outside the gates, there's a couple of restaurants. There's a 7-Eleven. There's I think there's a little Mexican food restaurant right out. There's little mom and pop shops all around the park if you want to grab something to eat and then sit down there and just relax and get away from all that. Again, depending on how Petco Park or whoever was organizing the sumo wrestling that's no longer taking place, however they decided to do that now. But if it's open, that's a good place to sit and kind of just hang out. And also right across from the convention center, if you'll notice there's like water fountains that kind of splash and go up and down. That's also now a new park, which has a huge playground as well for kids. And there's also a dog park. That's a good place to kind of just sit and be away from the crowd.
Sometimes they have activations going in there, so
yeah, and
you have to dodge the activations.
I almost forgot. Sometimes they have these quiet rooms in the Marriott in the past where you can just go and sit. There's drinks and snacks. It's quiet if you're overstimulated from the convention center. Although I don't recall seeing them having released a room or anything like that for that yet, but I could be wrong. But they typically do that every year.
Oh, interesting.
As another place to like sit, enjoy the AC, just enjoy the calm. If you need to just,
it's a little hospitality room. Yeah,
yes.
It's generally in between the arcade and the Comic-Con merch shop.
Oh, okay. Oh, wow. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Wow.
And they have snacky treats in there until they run out. They try to restock them, but at some point they do run out. But
okay. Yeah. So I mean, it really depends on where you want to go. Again, even just going to Seaport Village. Again, that's once you go beyond the convention center, it's like it's no more than 10-minute walk. It's like between 5 to 10 minutes. And then there's plenty of grass area to sit and just hang out and relax. Really good spot. But actually in the convention center, I mean, it's gonna be very, very spotty. I mean, as you go outside, there are places to kind of hang out there. But if you want to get away from the crowds, again, there's cool parks to go. But you're probably thinking about 10-15-minute walks to certain ones, depending. I'm trying to find the street here. There's a new restaurant that's opening and it's being kind of promoted for Comic-Con. It's called I think it's called like the Villains or something. I'm trying to find the street here. It's like a block away from the from the Petco Park. I'm trying to find it here. I forgot the street. But it's been popping up.
Is it a brewing company? Villains Brewing Company?
Villains Brewing.
Is that
an island?
One? Oh, yeah.
903 Island Ave. Yep.
Yeah. So that's a new restaurant that's kind of been promoted lately, and it's supposed to be villain themed. So that might be a cool place for people to meet up. That's not far from the convention center, but it's decently out of the way. And it'll take you maybe 10 minutes to walk there. So that may be a cool place to hang out and check out some cool decor, get something to eat. That's a good place right there. Let's see. Purchasing art prints. What size portfolio do you recommend? The average size print is normally about 11 by 17. More of the fancy artists will probably go maybe 12 by 18. I always say go to an oversized portfolio. That way, just in case, you get an artist that just does something kind of like oversized. But for the most part, I would say, I don't know, 90% of the time, most artists do 11 by 17 because it's the easiest. And then, yeah, it just that's the norm of art prints. But I know other artists that do go a little oversized and go, I think some go like 20 by, I forget what that size is, but it's pretty big. There's plenty of, I think there's 3 major exhibitors at the convention that sell portfolios there. If you're not looking to, like, you don't want to like pack it in right now, you can buy one there. I can recommend a really good vendor. But overall, I would say just go oversized, so maybe like a 12 by 18 portfolio. That way you make sure you have room for like the other ones. So yeah.
The other thing with the floor is this is the one place that you do need to impulse buy because you're not guaranteed that it will be there when you get back. For some of the smaller niche kind of things, like obviously if it's something that's an exclusive, I mean that's its whole own category, or if it's something where they have a ton in stock and you want to kind of like hover around and see till Sunday. But 9 times out of 10 you're going to want to impulse buy. Like if you see it, get it, because they have it in 5 minutes.
Yeah. Yeah.
Butts on Things is my favorite new found from the past couple of years. It's legitimately like the reverse side. I don't have my Butts on Things, but it's like the Ghostbusters logo, but from the back, and it's the Ghostbusters butt. And like there's R2D2 from the back with his butt. Like it is Butts on Things. And he's become so popular that he started to become one of the capped lines. And you'll get an idea for some of the booths that are going to have the capped lines because they are also advertising in the program with their exclusives. So like yesterday's has like a specific book, like a little sketchbook that's for Comic-Con, and their line is always capped. Con Rangers have become very, very popular because they're like Boy Scout, Girl Scout badges for Comic-Con achievements.
Oh, yeah.
And now they have become so popular, they had to move from their standard to a bigger booth, and like they have lines that are capped. So if you're seeing it advertised in the program guide, if you're seeing it advertised on uBlog, if you're seeing it, if they're paying for it, just know that line is probably going to be capped.
Yeah.
It's Butts on Things, not Butts in Things. That's a whole different thing. Butts on Things.
Yeah, that's a different convention.
That's a different convention. Butts on Things. Like I had a whole bunch of my Butts on Things.
So
I don't see them anymore.
So talking about buying things, especially when you get the exclusives and all that stuff, like you said earlier, any opportunity where scammers will try to scam, that happens there as well. There's been many people that I've seen that either have, well, I paid, $400 to this person for this merchandise and they never got it. So make sure, again, like everything else, that you vet who you're making this deal with, because we can't help you get that $400 back.
Oh, I have to undo mine. I had to undo my thing. Sorry. Yeah. 100%. I'm just trying to.
And again, so the first time I went to San Diego Comic-Con, the one unexpected thing.
A little Grogu butt.
A little Grogu butt.
It's Brian Cook art.
Okay.
So one of the unexpected things is that I somehow, some way or another, squeezed into the Funko standby line. I did not even put points into it. It was just hey, I have some time after a panel. Let's just go try. Oh my gosh. And people will try to make deals with you while you're in line.
Wow.
So I did help this one person out. And I literally went to her, if the money is not in my Venmo account by the time I reach the front of the line, you're not getting your product, because I'm not going to be stuck with this Rita Repulsa Funko Pop that I don't want.
Yeah.
So make sure you set the ground rules. Don't be afraid to set the ground rules, especially if you're the one buying for somebody. Make sure you get paid.
Yeah. Yeah.
Sorry, this is my favorite. It's the tart ass.
Just for the pun, that's probably my favorite.
Tart ass.
I legitimately own.
That's funny.
All the pins.
That's so funny.
Pickle butt. Like legitimately, whenever he says butts on things,
Pickle butt.
he could not be more descriptive
Wow.
as to what he does.
Wow.
He draws butts on things.
So yeah, and also when you say what about you bring up Venmo and payments, guys, make sure you're updating all of your apps and all of your payment formats. I know there's tons of vendors and everything that like prefer cash or things like that, but there's also a lot of vendors that don't. They prefer the digital stuff. They maybe they don't want to handle money because they're traveling and they fear whatever. So make sure you start. You maybe want to talk to your credit card company and let them know, hey, look, I'm traveling. I might be doing some obscure payments or buying. That is me. So that you don't get locked while you're there because it's happened so many times. But try to get involved with all the Venmo, PayPal. If you even want to do Zelle, make sure all that is like kind of updated for you when you get there. That way it makes it easier on the transactions when you're at the show. Again, because there are a lot of exhibitors who do not prefer cash. They're okay paying the tax. They prefer reporting their money. That it's fine, and that's on them. That's totally good. So just know, but just be prepared to have all your apps and everything updated before you go to the show. Maybe once a night, just check if anything needs to be updated for your app on your phone. Take care of that. That way, there's no problems when you get in there.
One thing to caveat off of that is if you can bring small bills, there's a lot of times, especially with Artist Alley and like, folks who are in small press who are taking cash, that they can use some of the smaller bills because everybody gives them 20s.
Yeah.
And there's no real bank inside the convention center for somebody. So it's just like, hey, table next to me, do you guys have like a change for a 10?
Yeah, exactly. 100% all the time.
And some people will only take cash. Like Rob Liefeld was doing a pop-up signing, and they would only take cash. So I legitimately had to run to Artist Alley to my friend and be like, I can't explain them anything. Just give me $100 and I'll give it right back to you. He's like, what? Here's $100. I'm like, what? Like, so I had to go back. And so there are some of the autograph signings, generally the ones that happen on the floor, pop up like that. Like all of a sudden Rob is like in a booth and he's just doing things. Cause he was with Marat Michaels. And then like sometimes after a panel, you can win the opportunity to meet somebody, and like they may have a book that they're selling that they prefer cash. Like that's getting less and less, but it still does happen. Yeah. And like we legitimately almost missed out on a chance encounter with Rob Liefeld because I didn't have cash.
Yeah.
I would say a safe bet in anything. Print your tickets in case your phone dies or the Wi-Fi is just spotty and bad. So, and the same with the exclusives. If you somehow can't find that email, pull that. I'm just old school, I guess. Pull the physical copy out of your bag. So have some hard cash on you. Have your cards on you. Your digital payments. So if one form or another doesn't work out, you're not like missing out on a product you want or a signature you want. So we'll do that for the finance portion and also your tickets and your lotteries that you win.
And Katrina made a good point. As an exhibitor, if you're going to do bills, try to help out with the small bills. Like I would say, just have pure fives if you can. That's usually the increment. That's the best. Because it's hard for us to try to make change when you're looking for change too. So if you can do the smallest bills possible, I would say just do like all fives. If that's that's probably like $200 in fives. Is probably like the best thing because it helps us a lot. Not having to break change or asking, we can't break that at all or something. Especially in the beginning of the convention when we're just starting, we have no change to break. having small bills is really important. It's a great thing. So
there's a couple of newbies here. I just want to talk through the first steps real quick. So if you have your badge mailed to you, you take that. If your badge did not get delivered, go in and mark it as missing, and you'll go back for a reprint. If you mark it as missing, they will reprint it for free. If you just lose your badge, there is a fee to have badges reprinted. But so your first steps are, you either take your confirmation email if you don't have your badge physically, or you take your badge and you'll enter. If you have your badge, they will ask you to tap stanchions, and they have to tap green. You tap every time you go through a stanchion, either in or out, because if it taps red, there's something wrong with your RFID. You have to take your ID up to Badge Solutions and get it refigured. But if you have your code, you'll follow. Everybody goes upstairs to Sales Pavilion, and from there you split off and listen to people yelling because they will direct you. Yeah. If you have your badge, you'll go to a place called BBL, or Books, Bags, and Lanyards. So that's where you get the big, gigantic, oversized bags. That's where you get your lanyards, so your badges are not shipped with lanyards. And then you'll get a program, like a daily program guide. They haven't done the big program books lately. Those are all on digital. So they just need to conserve some money and some resources, which is, again, why I don't think they're going to have carpet, because they need carpet's very expensive. Printing these books are very expensive. If you have your confirmation code, follow the guidance of the volunteers. They will direct you through the chutes, and then they'll take care of you. And at that point, they also have books, bags, and lanyards. So you pick up your badge and your BBL, you tap, and then you get to go through the con. Last year, there seemed to be confusion. Some people were turned away if they tried to come get their BBLs the day before. Some information was out there that you could come at 3 p.m. the day prior to get your books, bags, and lanyards for the next day. I don't know where the confusion was, but people were showing up and they were being turned away. So that's one thing that, you definitely just want to check and get solid confirmation from, not like what we call sea lawyer information of like, oh yeah, I think that you do this. So check the FAQs from Comic-Con International, check the ublog, and they're going to be the best information. And then check the virtual guide, because they have all of the rules and regulations in that virtual guide. So that way you'll know, can I come the day prior? Can I come the day of? The difference is Tuesday. Tuesday you can come for, I think you can come for Wednesday and the rest of the days, but generally you can come the day prior, and they're going to have an entire breakdown. It's like a little grid of like when you can come to pick up your badge for which day in that program guide. So that there's a lot of questions in Ethersphere now about like, what do I do? Like, what are my first steps? Those are your first steps. You either get your badge and your book bag and lanyard, or you go and you get your book bag and lanyard. Do you have to get your book bag and lanyard? No, you don't have to. No. But generally those are the two first steps.
Yeah. That's attendees are that's not Hall E for attendees, is it? Usually when they make you go up the escalator.
Yeah, they make you go into the escalator.
But is that Hall E, or is that another? Is it different?
It's in the middle. I think it's D.
D. It might be D, because I think Hall E is for professionals and other industry. So you guys might be going up Hall D, right? I think.
I think everybody. Well, this is my first year doing the professionals. Okay. So the only thing that I know specific about professionals is that for preview night we have our own line and we have our own little area. And professionals have their own hospitality room. I don't know about getting a special line for BBLs or not. I'll find out this year, I guess.
Okay. What is it? Any secrets to get more bags?
Sundays. Generally, Sundays towards the end, you can. They'll let you loop through if there's additionals, but up until Sunday, you have to tap your badge to get into the BBL line, and you tap it going out, so it's already registered that you've got your BBL. Now, if your bag breaks, because that happens, because sometimes the bags are a little bit flimsy. You can go and like trade your bag, but it's blind. You can't generally sit there and say, I want this Simpsons bag,
Yeah.
and I just no. They don't
Yeah.
have time. You trade
Yeah.
on the floor. Like you see somebody that has a Simpsons bag, you look in the groups to say, I have a Simpsons bag, I want the Avatar bag, and then you trade.
Yeah, yeah, and I'll make a category for that when the whole bag or anything like that comes. I mean, because these, I don't know if they still do pins. Did they do pins last year? No.
No.
Yeah.
No.
So if they just
that was a Warner Brothers thing only, and when Warner
okay.
Brothers stopped sponsoring the bags, they no longer do pins.
Yeah. So I when we do during the show, I'll make a category for the bags, and you know, you guys can trade there and say, hey, we'll meet up, blah blah blah. We'll do that. But in general, just ask somebody. You know, there's a lot of people who don't want their bag. They'll end up throwing it away. I've seen bins full of thrown away of these bags. So just ask. You know, you never know. So say, oh no, I want to keep mine, or like, no, you can have it. I don't want it. There's plenty of that. So you know, if you just see somebody kind of hanging out, just, you know, nicely approach them and say, hey, do you want your bag? You never know. Just
being
no.
kind and nice in general will, I mean, get you a lot of places. I remember I didn't realize when I first went that pins were such a big thing. So Entertainment Earth was giving out the Target dog pin, something different every single day, and the huge amount of crowds, the amount of security that it needed. I remember just talking to one of the staff members, and I'm like, it's my first time here. Where's the line start? You're gonna ask that question a lot of where all the lines start, because they kind of mix sometimes. And so just by being nice, they're like, hey, don't worry about it, don't tell anybody. But because the crowd was so huge and large, he's like, here's a pin. So kindness goes a long way.
The concept called Spirit of the Con. And like I said, 99% of the people follow Spirit of the Con, whereas like the 0.1% have like the scammy kind of nefarious aspects. But Spirit of the Con is just that you will see a lot of generosity. You will see a lot of people helping people, because everybody wants everybody else to have a really good experience there. Johanna is not lying when she says people are grumpy, and it's generally the security and who will yell because there is chaos on the floor. But you just have to kind of like take a step back and be like, okay, that guy's an a-hole, but it's not at me.
Yeah. Right. They're dealing with grumpy customers, people all day long for hours and hours on end. So you have to kind of put yourself in their shoes and be like, well, let's just be a little nicer, because they probably just got, you know, like yelled at for 5 minutes for something really stupid. So if you see a good action or someone does something good for you, just pass it on.
Spirit of the Con.
And just know that there's like, I don't know, like 4 levels of people working the convention. There's like the front security, then there's like another type of security, then there's the overall Comic-Con staff, and then there's volunteers. There's a lot of miscommunication. A lot. You're gonna ask one security, he's gonna tell you the same thing the other security. I mean, it's gonna be everywhere. That just never fails every year. That's just the way it is now. So just be prepared to hear a lot of the wrong answers or the same answer a lot that doesn't get you anywhere. Just know you will get into the convention. The convention, going inside is going to happen, but just be patient on how they tell you where to go. You're going to say, hey, go to Hall B when you should have been at, you know, G, and they're going to tell you to go back and all these different things. It just never fails, and it just always happens. So just take it as it is. Just know that at 9:30, between 9:30 and 10, you're going to be in the convention center. Unless you're like sleeping there overnight, you're never going to be first in line, and you're not going to be that one person that's going to be like the first to get into. You can't get in early or anything. So so just know that, and just be patient with all the people, because they're only doing what they've been told, but they're hearing it from like 10 different people. So
asking if there's a bag check area. It's outside of E. And it is, again, the price fluctuates. It used to be for a very long time $5, and then I heard it went to $10 a bag. I heard somebody say it was $30 a bag. So there is a fee for it. It is not an overnight hold situation. If you drop your bag, you need to make sure that you come back and get it. But like, it is limited, but it's a very large-ish area. So they definitely have it. It's in the outside, the street side, in the walkway on the street side of the convention center. So remember, I keep talking about there's a street side of the convention center, and then there is a water side of the convention center. So it's the street side of the convention center. Hallway, it's in the hallway by Hall E. I cannot tell you how much it's going to cost this year. It's just going to be, you're going to have to show up and find out. So.
Yeah. Also, you're saying about just seeing the street. So they've already announced that that harbor is going to be closed during the thing. But just know, just like last year, they still have not completed the construction that is on the bridge walkway, which limits both sides to one lane.
I got stuck in it this whole week.
Oh man, why that's not done, I don't know. That's extremely frustrating. Mm-hmm. So just know, if you plan on being dropped off, that harbor from the south end, I would say, like, if you see Coronado Bridge, if you're driving by the Coronado Bridge going towards the convention center, that's the south end. Just be prepared to be in a long line, very long line. It's better off if you just get dropped off, like literally right there, and just walk to the convention center, because you'll be in that line forever. The opposite side, the north end of harbor, unless you have a parking pass for the convention center, you have no business to be there. Trust me, you have absolutely no business to be on that side. It just makes it a nightmare for everyone else, because you can't get through. You're just going to end up doing a U-turn to leave, and you're going to be wasting your time. So just know that the north end of Harbor Drive, I think that's first, and I think the convention center trolley stop, I forgot which that street is. That area is only for convention center parking only, and that's it. I know Ubers try to go into there, which is horrible, and you should not be going through that. And you're just going to get stuck in this massive traffic line. It's pretty horrible. So just know both ends of harbor are going to be very, very packed. So really try to plan out where to be dropped. Again, during my Comic-Con walk of downtown, I will suggest places for you to get dropped off in different areas. But again, I think the biggest and most helpful part is that you just take the trolley. No matter what, if you're coming from somewhere, I would suggest to get dropped off at a trolley and take the trolley in. Don't have any car go in that area unless you have a parking pass somewhere in downtown, because it's just not worth it. It really isn't. So you'll end up getting delayed, and then on top of, you're going to get the Uber surplus type pricing. They're going to
surge pricing.
But yeah, they're going to get charged so much for like waiting for like additional like 30 minutes. It's pretty bad. So again, take the trolley in. It's going to be so much better. It really is. Again, it's $250. It's not that bad, or if you get the week pass, it's going to be much cheaper. But it's better that you not get dropped off in that area. So someone said I fly out Sunday, so I figured, check back. Won't hotels hold your bag?
Yeah, that you can do bellhop there, but if he's coming from, say, like a Mission Valley hotel, then he's not going to want to go back out to Mission Valley.
Yeah. I take a lift to the Marriott and usually jump out right before the sitting and the traffic there. See, and John, I don't suggest that. I don't suggest taking the lift into that area. There's a much better areas to get dropped off at, because you're getting charged a lot more to get, and you could have gone like maybe a block down, get dropped off, and it would have probably been cheaper. So and then on top of it, it's a headache because those Lyft and Uber drivers, they just have no idea how to manage through that area, and they're cutting because they have to do a U-turn when they leave, which completely blocks everyone who is going through with the parking pass. So taking a Lyft to the Marriott makes it just worse. Makes it worse for you on the pricing, takes your time, and it takes up the time of the people who actually have access to that area. I always say get dropped off at the like on Market and and Fifth, or Market and Fifth and Broadway. That way you're just walking straight down, and on the walk in, you get to see what's happening overall. You can grab a drink, you can see all the outside stuff that's happening. There's a lot more happening further, and you would get there quicker. But yeah, on my live walk, I'll show you. But that going to the Marriott is something I do not suggest at all, at all, because it's really a waste of time. Big waste of time. So, let's see. I was looking at something earlier. I still see people trading hotel rooms. That's kind of interesting.
A bunch of hotel rooms look like they opened up today, so somebody.
Oh, really?
Something, yeah, a bunch of
wow.
Them open for like the entire time, and this does happen every single year. Is that we get closer to con and people are just like, oh, okay, I'm finalizing my plans, I'm not going to go. And about this time, the end of June, beginning of July, a lot more hotels get returned to the block.
Interesting. Okay. The portal. Yeah, I think that was it right there. Okay. All right. Well, other than that, I think our biggest thing is just waiting till I would say next Thursday for the schedule.
Because the floor map will drop with the schedule as well.
Yeah.
People are wondering.
Yeah. That's going to be interesting. So yeah, I think overall that's about it. I'm hoping everything travel-wise for everyone. Even simply just coming from the East Coast, but I know a lot of internationals having a lot of warnings. So I'm hoping all that works out for everyone as best as possible. But yeah, I think that's about it. The next live will be again downtown when I go downtown and do the walk. Anybody's welcome to hang out if anybody wants. I'm still debating on where I want to start. I feel I want to start in Little Italy this year, and walk towards the convention center, and maybe end up at Imperial, but we'll see. Okay, guys. Is there anything else you think you want to throw in?
I think we covered a lot of it. Someone just has one more question, but not particularly con related. What are you guys doing for the July 4th? Any plans?
No, I'm hanging back this year, I think.
Same. It's probably going to rain a whole ton because they keep talking about this tropical system over here in Florida. So we're just going to go see the new Jurassic World movie and just kind of chill.
Yeah, that sounds fun. Yeah, that sounds good.
I am going to be sleeping for 3 days because we had a major convention at the convention center this week, and I am tired. like like major. So like Joe
Yeah.
Biden was there I think Joe Biden was there today, or he's there tomorrow. It's not like it's not a small conference.
Here at ours?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, wow. Oh, that's so cool. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Cool.
And he's just one of many very high-powered folks.
Cool. Well, that's good to know. Interesting.
So,
okay, guys. Well, I hope everyone's prepared. We have 22 days left. So
I'll be working on cosplay as well.
Yeah, and I'll be working on a lot of artwork. So we'll see how it all goes. So, all right, guys. Well, I will see you guys all on my live, which is the Monday. I think you said that was the 20th. I think so.
The Monday prior is the 21st.
21st. So Monday 21st, I will be doing my live walk in downtown San Diego and kind of taking you through everything that's happening during the week. So yeah, I will see you all then. Hopefully you guys will join me on that. And we're in the home stretch now, guys. So all right. So everyone take care. If you have any more questions, go into the group and just ask them and we'll answer them as best as possible. So all right. Have a good evening, everyone. Take care. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.